one thing that's doing the rounds at the moment, everyone's talking about the amalgamation of the councils across Otago. How are we approaching that? What do we think? What are the options? How long is the process going to take? Do you want to talk a little bit about what we're doing as a council to let people know what's happening?
Yes, well, it's obviously a very tight time frame to turn this around in. I think we have about 3 months in total if we want to put forward a Head Start proposal with some of our neighbouring councils. The government is interested in us becoming a unitary authority of some shape and scale, and that's where we take on board all of the services and functions of the regional council, so the Otago Regional Council at the moment. There are a number of different ideas that are at play in this at the moment, and that's being managed through the mayoral forum, so that all of the local mayors can discuss that together. However, at a local level, we really want to hear from our local community about your thoughts and values in relation to any potential amalgamation. So we actually have a survey that's open at the moment on our Let's Talk site, and that is open for the next couple of weeks. The whole process behind that is to enable us to hear what you're thinking, but it's the same survey that's being rolled out across the entire region, so we can compare and contrast in different parts of the region. But also there is a sort of a forum at play in our Let's Talk page as well, and that's where you can really dig into a much more locally focused conversation, and you can surface anything that concerns you about civic administration and potential amalgamation.
So the regional council are due to be abolished?
They will be abolished at the next
at the end
election.
of this term, and the district councils are going to pick up the functions of the regional councils. I'm not sure what that might be or how that will look. Some of the councils, or all of the councils, might join up, but again, we don't know what the options are. But what we do know is we've got an opportunity, because the government has said that if we can come up with a plan for the region or councils to put a proposal into government by August, that sort of puts us in the queue. It doesn't, as I understand it, it doesn't commit us to anything. It doesn't mean to say the plan will be accepted. It's a tight time scale, but I think most of the mayors think we're probably better to come up with something that we can put in sooner rather than later, rather than be on the back foot and have something done to us. Would that be your reading of?
That would be my take. I think there's an appetite to show willing to participate in the process, but ultimately this process has really been designed for councils that are further down the track on this kind of conversation. So our friends and neighbours down in Southland, in Western Bay of Plenty, around Wellington, there have been lots and lots of conversations around how councils can more effectively work together and amalgamate. And some of those processes are much further down the track than we are. So I think everyone's interest is piqued at an Otago level to work out what that could look like for us and for our communities. But in reality, the 4 or 5 that are likely to get through the Head Start process are probably more advanced in their thinking than we are at this stage.
So obviously if we merge councils or do whatever, get rid of regional council, an opportunity to save money. But my understanding is that any decision, like we've heard from our community, this council and our councils will need to vote on whether they support a proposal or not. So it's not being decided by the mayors. The process, I guess, and the discussion is being led by the mayors. But each council will have to make its own decision.
I think we're striking a really nice balance. So the mayoral forum's a forum for collaboration, so we're all working from the same data, we're not all doing the same piece of homework, we're using shared resources, doing it as efficiently as possible, but at the same time, you're absolutely right, the final decision will come back to this council, for our council to make a determination as to whether we participate at all, or alternatively, whether we just want to continue doing this work at a more leisurely pace. Or not at all. So the local decision making is still really important in this process.
So doing some of the work, filling in the survey now, finding out what our community wants and what's important to them, that allows us the opportunity to put in a proposal if we want to do that, rather than wait until it's too late to do that.
Yes. And of course, if we don't participate in the Head Start scheme, the government's indicated there's a backstop process. We don't currently know what the backstop process will be. We can only assume that it's something similar to the Combined Territories Board model that was proposed in the original draft of the simplification of local government.
So we're going to get either the mayors or commissioners to run everything and sort of work out who mixes and doses.
Absolutely. One of the things we have to take in mind is, although the regional councillors will not exist beyond 2028, obviously the regional council, all its functions and staff still need to operate. So if we're not part of the Head Start process, what that looks like going into the future is still relatively undetermined.
So everything's up for grabs. Nothing's decided, but I guess for me, it's like the point behind all of this is that we do things better. We're more coordinated. You've got one set of rules across the region. We're maybe saving money. We're using economy of scale, but how do we do that and still hear from our local community? So that's what we've got to work through.
Yes.
And there'll be some options emerge, and I'm sure in a few weeks we'll be coming back with more information.